Hi Five Crew, what we're going to be reviewing today is multiplying with decimals. So the way that we started out in class was by reviewing a couple simple questions but with a calculator to figure out what the pattern is with multiplying decimals. So let's start with just 35 times 7. Answer to this is 245. Now let's introduce some decimals. So if we do 35 times 0.7, on the calculator we will get 24.5. So we can see that we have the same numbers in our answer because we have the same numbers in our factors here, but the only thing that's different is we have a decimal point here and here. So let's try another one. We could have 3.5 times 7. Our answer would still be 24.5. If we tried another one out on our calculator, maybe 3.5 times 0.7, our answer would be 2.45. And maybe try one more. Let's do 0.35 times 0.7. If you work that out on your calculator, you would get 0.245. So then what we did in class was we tried to look for a pattern in the questions and in the answers. And what we ended up figuring out is that however many digits come after the decimal in the question equals the same in the answer. So there are no decimal points after the question here or here, so there's none in the answer. In this question, there is one digit after the decimal point. So this 7 is the only digit after the decimal point, so we'll also have one digit after the decimal point in the answer. One digit here after the decimal, one digit here. In this question, we have two digits that come after the decimal point in the question, so we'll have two digits that come after the decimal point in the answer. And it's the same with our last question. We have three digits after the decimal point in the question, so then three digits in the answer. So the general rule we came up with here is that the number of decimal land digits in the problem must match the number of decimal land digits in the answer. So in class, what we started talking about was this magical decimal land, and when you're in this decimal land, it means that you come after the decimal point. So however many digits enter this land, in this question it's one digit, two digits, there need to be two digits that enter this land in the answer. So with this rule in mind, let's try a couple questions together. So I'm going to start off with, how about 6.3 times 8. So if I do that math, let's do this math here quickly. I would set up the equation just like I do with regular multiplication. 8 times 3 is 24. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 2 is 50. But I'm not done yet. So I have to figure out how many decimals were in decimal land in this question, and that's only one digit. So I need one digit to be in decimal land in the answer. So to make this 4 become decimal land, I have to add a decimal point right here. So our answer to this question would be 50.4. All right, let's try another one. Let's try 0.46 times 5. So just like in the previous question, I'm going to set it up in the same way. So I'm going to forget about that decimal for now and just do 46 times 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. And 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. But I have two decimal land digits in my question, so I need two decimal land digits in my answer. So I'm going to put my decimal point right here. So now the 3 and the 0 are in decimal land. Okay, so even though this 0 is a placeholder, you still count that as being in decimal land, and I'll show us why in a minute. But our answer to this question is 2.30 or just 2.3. So if we're confused here, do I keep the 0? Do I get rid of the 0? A great way to check your work is by estimating. So estimating is a great way to see if you did the decimal land digits correctly. So we could say that 0.46 is very similar to 0.5. Let's round that to 0.5. And I have 5. So 0.5 times 5 is 2.5. And 2.5 is in the ballpark. That means it's very close to 2.3. So I'll know, okay, based on my estimate, I did this question correctly. We could even do the same thing with our previous question with 6.3 times 8. My estimate here could be 6.3. That's really close to 6. So this is my estimate. .3 is really close to 6. 8, that's fine. So let's just do 6 times 8. That equals 48. Is 48 in the ballpark of 50.4? Yeah. So I'll say that I did this question correctly as well. Thanks for watching, 5 Crew.